G'day, guys, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 2 of the MKAU show. I'm Melikan, and tonight we are joined with Brash Rackham,
Hey guys, how you going?
Fletcher117,
Evening.
117.
Eon Redgraves. Sorry, it's
There you go.
117, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 117.
Yeah, go.
Or that Fletcher guy on every other platform that I'm on.
Well, there we go. So that Fletcher guy. Yeah, Eon Redgraves already.
How are you?
And once again, Bossman Sub-Zero.
Howdy.
Alrighty, so in case you've been living under a rock, you probably know that Bethesda has been bought out by Microsoft. And I don't know about you guys, but there was a little bit of, on my behalf, there was a little bit of concern that they would only do Xbox exclusive titles from now on. Now, today, as they were finalizing their purchases, they've actually announced that they're still going to maintain the exclusive titles for PlayStation 5 that they've announced, but they will be moving to Xbox and PC exclusives. So what do we think about that? Let's start off with you, Brashy.
For me personally, I don't really mind. Like, they own it now, so they can do what they want, really. But I'm glad they're keeping to the word and keeping the PlayStation. Like I saw, Elder Scrolls Online, all that staying cross-platform and everything like that. So, and they did say that at the moment, not a lot's going to change for the moment. So, I'm not too concerned. Like, I don't play heaps of Bethesda games.
Okay, so that doesn't really affect you then, obviously, too much. All right, then, Fletcher, what about you, mate? What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm wondering whether when they mention that there's going to be new exclusives, that it is actually new IPs or something like that. Creating something different for the Xbox makes sense. Like, what having an existing profile or like an existing presence on all platforms, it would be silly to move away from, especially, Elder Scrolls, anything with that name on. Like Brash just said, Elder Scrolls Online still sells a lot and it still earns a lot of money. It doesn't sound like it because it's never really in the limelight. But I mean, like Dishonored, if they continue that, I'd like that to keep going on multi-platform. But if they're going to move forward to like an Xbox exclusive, I'd like it to be something new, something that Xbox really makes it theirs. That's my opinion, at least. I hope they bring something new to the table other than things that are pre-existing.
Yep, fair enough. What about you, Redgraves? What are your thoughts on the subject?
I'm glad that there's going to be future exclusives for the Xbox, because that has been the major lacking point of the new console. But yeah, as Fletcher said, as long as they're a new IP and not just cutting the fan base for new installments of like Fallout or Skyrim, then I'm all for it.
Alrighty. What are your thoughts on that one then, Subby?
I don't know. My understanding is that there were going to be a few existing titles that were going to be exclusives. I've not heard of anything about new IPs, but I mean, this is ultimately a business decision. So, I mean, they've spent a lot of money doing it. It'd be a bit stupid for not to put some existing titles exclusive to Xbox. So
yeah, it was like $7.5 billion or something, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it was a lot. So it'd be stupid not to put a few aside for themselves. But yeah, I think you'll see a lot of the multiplayer games probably still be cross-play, but they'll probably just pick a couple, whether it's Wolfenstein, whether it's Dishonored, I don't know, but yeah, I think you'll see that a couple of the existing ones will be exclusive to them now. Sorry, Brashy.
Like, I don't care, it's Bethesda. I think my biggest concern was that they would alienate a lot of fans of Fallout and Elder Scrolls and that, because obviously Bethesda is well known for those titles. So, and obviously, Doom as well. So my biggest concern was that they would potentially alienate people who really like those titles, but suddenly they just couldn't get them. But I think the fact that they've said, you know, they're going to maintain their promises with the PS5 exclusives, but also did say, yes, okay, there's going to be exclusive Xbox and PC titles. I think I do think that's a smart move on their behalf, given that they now own the business and they are such a big, well-known company. It only sort of makes sense to go, okay, well, we'll make some exclusive things. So I think that's where I sit on that one. Obviously, they did have a few issues with something in Europe who was sort of slowing down the fact that they were trying to purchase it. I will admit I didn't read too much into that. But yeah, what do we think about most of your Bethesda titles now going on to the Xbox? What is it? Xbox Live services.
I see. Like, I'm wondering whether they're going to play with timed exclusives. Like, in my opinion, I think that pisses people off more than just having a flat out exclusive. Like, I think they did that with Tomb Raider when Microsoft stepped in to help them finish the third installment of that. It was a
Mhm.
timed exclusive for the final one, and it eventually made its way back over there. It was either the second or the third one, and it didn't really have that much of a presence. Like, there wasn't really a lot of excitement when it did finally move over. So I don't know whether like they would go down that avenue. Um, my question for the new Elder Scrolls game and even the Fallout is: are they going to redo the game engine? Because people are really upset over Fallout 76, and that pretty much is a modded version of the existing engine that they're using for all the old games.
I
Doesn't
I
seem to
don't
be
think
cutting it anymore.
I don't know that there's too much of an issue with the engine as such. Personally,
Mhm.
I definitely think the way they implemented the game and during their initial release, and basically didn't have any NPCs. I think that's the biggest thing that. Well, I know it's the biggest thing that annoyed me,
Mhm.
but I feel like
Felt
there
empty.
wasn't. Yeah, it really did. It felt very very empty, which I guess that was the whole story behind it. But on the same token, I would have thought there'd still be the occasional NPC, just not as many as you'd see in Fallout 4 or New Vegas or Fallout 3, for example.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I'm not sure that the engine's the issue as such. I think it's just a very poorly implemented game to begin with. It has obviously gotten a lot better since we've had the two DLCs drop.
Mhm.
Um, like the fact that you can go and play with the Brotherhood of Steel, or you can go and join some survivors, or you can join some raiders. I think that's a pretty cool idea, and it's good that Fallout 76 now has some life in it.
It does
Um,
show that they're committed to their IPs. I mean, they
oh,
didn't abandon
100%.
it. I mean,
100%.
obviously, they've just abandoned Anthem recently for EA at least. So, but that was a long, painstaking, dragged out event. But
It's yeah, definitely a game that probably shouldn't have been kept alive.
yeah, but yeah, look, Bethesda's sticking to their guns and they keep going at it. Like, I think there's more DLCs or updates scheduled for 76, I believe.
I do believe I read something about it, and even the Brotherhood DLC that's come out, or the expansion, whatever you want to call it, through technicalities.
Hmm.
It stipulates that that part of the story that they give you is sort of just the beginning. So I
Yep.
really hope there's a lot more to it, but I do hope that Bethesda do keep their titles available to everybody and not just swap it out to Xbox and PlayStation personally, because it could potentially cost them a lot of money.
Yep.
That's my thoughts on that one anyway. But yeah, no, look, we've also had a little bit of other news. I don't think we've spoken about this one yet, but as some of us are aware, CD Projekt Red were the target of a cyber attack. Obviously, a lot of their information, including things for The Witcher, and obviously Cyberpunk, were stolen and sold for a ridiculous amount of money. I personally, well, I don't think it was deserved at all. I think it was the wrong thing for anybody to do, and I personally feel that the people that did that were also the people that were whinging that the game hadn't come out quick enough. So, what are our thoughts on that one? We'll start off with you, Subby.
To be honest, I didn't really read into it too much. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't have too much to say about it. It sucks. The game needs fixing. It's delayed. Them getting this game sorted out and all these bugs fixed and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of sucks. I still haven't really finished, even got anywhere near finishing it. I've just been waiting for some of these big patches to roll out. So for me, it's annoying because they have, they can't get the game fixed to a better state. But I don't know. It's not the first time companies have been hacked, is it?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Do we potentially feel like the fact that they've been hacked and had information stolen would slow down the fixing process,
Well, that's
or
what they
have
said,
a
didn't they? Didn't they say that this has caused them to delay some fixes and patches and stuff? I don't know. They were locked out of their systems and everything, so
Yeah,
they were physically not
do
able to do
remember-
anything, from what I
I
understand.
do remember seeing something about them being delayed, and I think obviously people that try and do these things need to take into consideration what effect this is going to have on the people that they're, I guess, trying to avenge. But what are your thoughts on this one, Eon?
I thought it was just a massive joke to read about. Like, as you said, a lot of people were angry that the game launched in the state it did, but they were also angry when it was due to release, and they said, "Oh, yeah, we've got more work to do on it. We're aware it's not ready," and yet they still jumped up and down like entitled little children. There's no such thing as a perfect game release these days.
No.
I'm happy enough for a game to delay and release at a somewhat stable platform instead of what Cyberpunk released at. Like, even if it was another 3 months, I would have waited.
Yep.
I think a lot of people would have preferred to have waited, but obviously the children being louder than everybody else get the attention and sort of get what they want to hopefully shut them up. What are your thoughts on this one then, Fletcher?
It would be gut wrenching, like having to go through everything that they went through. Because I think I was reading about the fact that they were working so hard and the whole crunch culture, like which has always been in limelight for the last 2 years in the gaming industry, and then to release that and then have to still put out extra work and go above and beyond 68-hour weeks or whatever it is, and then to have it all stolen and have any chance of any momentum that they had of getting the game back on track just stall out. That's got to be hugely taxing on the mental state, for them to have to keep working through that on top of the criticism of the game and stuff like that. And I know that they were saying at some stage their bonuses and their incentives were tied to the scores that the game was going to get.
Oh, wow.
Until everyone found out about that, and then they had to abolish that rule. So it's hard for it doesn't really affect us too much at the moment, like as a gamer, but for the industry side of things, that's huge. People are already wondering whether that this game was going to sink CD Projekt Red, just from a shaky launch. Not a bad game. They made The Witcher 3, and you couldn't say anything bad about them for last 5 years or so, and to now think about the fact that we barely bring their name up, and they don't even have a chance to fix their baby, must be real hard.
Yeah, no, definitely. They've aside from all the negative stuff you hear about them lately, they're not brought up as often as they used to be. Definitely. What do you think of Brashy? Have you anything to say on this subject?
Yeah, well, that's frustrating. It'd be so demoralising for them. But in saying that, like you were saying, if it was people who were annoyed about it taking so long that actually hacked them, they just shot themselves in the foot. And I heard it got they were selling it for all the information they got. They were selling for about $1 million, and it was buy it now for $7 million. And then it did get sold, and then the person straight away said, "Yep, all right, it's sold. Delete everything and leave it with it." So I'm hoping that whoever did buy it isn't like the hackers, at least. But I don't know, much more has come about it since then.
I guess on the same token for me is, how do you have bad security in a big place like CD Projekt Red?
Well, that's another thing too. It's such a big company that is so heavily digital. How did this happen?
It's
You know, maybe
Also,
was it an
crazy.
inside job?
yeah, I was just thinking that, but also the name of the virus is like the Hello Kitty. Was it Hello Kitty malware or something like that? So it's just disappointing. Like, I don't know why people can't just wait. Like, it's not going to kill you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, obviously, we live in a world where everyone's we need to have it now, and it has to be perfect. And games, there's never going to be a game with everything that they're pushing, because they're constantly pushing the boundaries of what games are capable of doing. There's never going to be a game that's going to launch and it's going to be perfect. Realistically, every game is going to have bugs of some description that potentially were missed, or you know, accidentally left in or something like that. So I think a lot of people, and I don't want to stipulate that it's a certain generation, because I don't think it is. But I think a lot of people need to realize that, go back 20 years ago when we were playing on Nintendo 64 or Super Nintendo, for example. The way the game was on the cartridge, that was it. And those games had issues too. We just didn't really pay any attention to them. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that I don't think they took into consideration what effect their actions would have on other people, in terms of, yes, okay, the game was launched in an unready state, but that was because people were screaming and threatening them because the game didn't release when it was meant to. But yeah, I definitely think that they've really damaged the chances of that game potentially getting a lot better, especially with a lot of the DLC that they said they had on the way. But
I think it'll get there.
it'll
It might
yeah,
be
I
too. It might be
definitely
too late by then, but I mean, there's probably a lot of people that still haven't played it. So I don't know. We'll see.
You
well,
know,
that's
I
true.
haven't played it yet, and I'll wait. I'm happy to wait.
Well, I've
Yeah.
played a little bit, and I'm happy to wait just till it's a little bit more polished. Just
Yeah.
a little
Well, the
bit.
dedicated fans are going to wait. So they'll wait
I,
for any DLC for it.
Yeah, and look, I did play it from release, and I finished it through once at least. And while I did encounter bugs, it was nothing that I would say was absolutely terrible, or I have to have my money back sort of thing. It's Anthem. That was absolutely horrible, and I was still playing it a couple of months ago. But
Are you
I
alright?
don't think. I'm okay. I'm a little bit depressed and twitchy. But yeah, no, I don't think that Cyberpunk was as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. Previous generations consoles, by all means, maybe, but I've seen some gameplay stuff on previous generation, and even then, yeah, okay, the graphics were a little bit on the dodgy side, and it might have been a little bit more buggy. But I don't think it was as bad as what a lot of people were saying it was, unless there was something really wrong with their console.
I think they
But
would. I think they'd be in a better position if straight off the rip they just didn't release it on last gen. I know they wanted to
Yeah.
get more sales, but I think if they just avoided last gen on this one,
probably
wouldn't
wouldn't
Well, I
have been
wonder
so
whether
bad.
I wonder how much of the investor side had to do with that. I mean, they brought out a Xbox One Cyberpunk console,
hmm,
and they'd advertise that for how many months, etc. Like it was supposed to be out before that console even came out, and there's a brand new console coming out 3 months after that. So, obviously, they really invested and really convinced someone, or someone had just flat out told them it's happening. You got to make it happen. So,
Yeah.
who knows what happens behind closed doors? That's what I was saying. It must be gut wrenching for them to be going through this on top of everything they went through last year. Not that
Yeah.
anyone really had a good year last year.
No, well, speaking of
game
last year, that kind of
developer-wise.
helps us. Yeah, no, definitely. That does sort of help us segue, I guess, into our next topic. I don't know about you guys, but I've sort of noticed that we seem to have some, I guess, better quality games from smaller developers or indie developers over the last year. Do we think that's potentially because being smaller companies, they're still able to work during lockdowns as opposed to big companies like Bethesda and CD Projekt Red? So have you guys, would you say you guys have noticed anything sort of better with your indie games recently?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
More frequent,
Yeah,
More
definitely.
frequent, yes.
Frequent.
Like,
especially with Game Pass.
Oh,
There's
you go.
just tons of games. Oh no, I was just saying, like, yeah, Game Pass. Every second or third week, I feel like there's a new indie game dropping on that, which is really cool.
I think people have just got the time working from home to
To develop their own
dedicate
thing.
their little projects a little bit more than they might have. Yeah, I don't know. Got to think
think
you got to think every studio is working from home. So the question is, do you think the quality of even AAA games have improved or got worse? Considering they've spent a year and a half, a good solid year working from home. So any releases that have come out recently, like I know I was actually funny you bring this up actually because I was talking to a friend of mine that works at Warner Brothers / NetherRealm on the Mortal Kombat thing, and he mentioned that they finished Aftermath while working from home,
Wow.
and that was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good content.
And I was surprised about that because I didn't realize it was kind of at that, like, you know, in that 12-month period, people are working from home. So to know they finished that expansion from home, and they're still not in the office too, he said today. They're still not back in the office.
Okay, wow. That's look, I will admit I didn't really think too much about the AAA titles because aside from Cyberpunk, I can't say I paid too much attention to any other games that were really released. I just remember seeing a lot of indie titles. And I definitely think that the quality of the indie games has significantly improved over the last 12 months. But yeah, by all means, as you said, Mortal Kombat Aftermath was done during lockdown. They were working from home, and they're still at home. Things are obviously slowly starting to open up in Australia. Don't know about other countries, but that's another little bit of a segue. Obviously, PAX have announced their dates for 2021 down in Melbourne. So that looks like it's a go ahead, which I'm kind of excited for. But we're also seeing other conventions opening up. So we've got next month, I think we've got Supernova down the Gold Coast, and there's a couple more, around the country. And then later this year, we've got Supernova in Brisbane. How do we feel about these things opening up now that, well, since Corona is still a thing, but not as prominent in Australia?
It'd be interesting to see how they handle like meeting people. But you go, Redgrave.
I'm a bit wary on the PAX situation because Victoria's still always got their restrictions up. So, I'm definitely going to pay for my ticket to go and everything. And if it happens, it happens. It's usually the only major convention I attend during the year anyway. But I do hope that PAX does happen this year.
Yeah, and are you hoping, how are you hoping they handle it? Are you hoping there's a little bit more control over how they're cramming people in? Because I know my first PAX 2019, everyone was crammed in like sardines. So
Yeah. Well, I was reading that they're going to be doing limited ticket releases to the venue's allocation of how many people are in there. So even if it does go ahead with that restriction, they're already aware that the numbers are going to be smaller than the last few years. So they've already taken into consideration that social distancing's still a thing, COVID's still going to be around. So it's just an adjustment period that they've got to fine tune, I guess.
All right. What about you there, Fletcher? What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, see, I was interested when they said that they're bringing it back. At first, I thought they were going to do something that was maybe potentially closed to the public, where it was they would only bring in someone with influence, like someone that's like got a social media presence, or like review companies and such, like how they used to do the old E3 events, where it wasn't open to the public. It was just people that were inside the industry that would go in there. Like, I was wondering whether they would do something like that to limit the amount of people that go. But the fact that, like, everyone's been starved for these kind of things, it'd be hard. It'd be hard for the general public to say, we've been there multiple times. You can't lock us out now. I'm not too sure which would be better. To be honest, like I want it to be available to as many people as possible, because I've never been to a PAX. I've been to the EB Games Expo for Australia, which was like the first ones that we kind of had here. So if they bring it back, I'd want them to be able to go all out and make it like a full spectacle for it. But hopefully by the end of the year, things are a lot stabler for everyone. But it just begs the question of how many people are we going to bring over? Are we going to actually talk to people that are properly related with the games that are being developed, or are we going to just talk with a spokesperson? Same with the meet and greets. Are they going to have? I know for Supernova, which you mentioned, you used to pay $50 to $100 to go meet someone. I wouldn't really want to pay $50 to $100 meet someone if they say you stand on that side of the room and just say hi. So how are they going to coax the people to come over here if people aren't going to be willing to spend the money to see them?
Yep, definitely. What about you there, Brashy? Have you attended any conventions, and if so, what are your thoughts on how they might control these ones?
Yeah, I went to PAX it's been about 6 years ago, I think. Yeah, it's the last time I went to PAX. But it's a tough call, because I know they're rolling out the vaccination now, and already the frontline nurses and doctors are already getting it, and apparently defense is next. So hopefully by the time October comes around, if all goes well, it could be good and not an issue. But if that doesn't happen, then especially Victoria is just horrible for it. And at any stage, Victoria could just go into full lockdown again. But I got my fingers crossed, because I'm excited for it. I really want to go. Might just have to cosplay as someone with a mask, like Kakashi or something.
I think Sammy Knuckle Sandwich in the Discord, he's going as Cabal. He's dressing up as Cabal with his little COVID mask on.
I'll dress up as Katana.
Awesome.
Katana. Hot.
I'll be taking you back to the hotel room. Anyway, what about you, Subby? What are your thoughts on that one? Since pretty sure you've been to more of them than any of us.
Yeah, I have been to a few. Look, the problem is hotel quarantine, isn't it? That's where it all leaks. That's what they need to fix up. I mean, all these lockdowns are all because of poorly managed hotel quarantine. So, gotta fix it, I guess. And I don't think you'll see international people come in unless they probably got the jab first. Maybe, I don't know. They're looking at that whole health passport thing. I don't know. At the moment, anyone coming into the country, I think, is just sitting there 2 weeks quarantine and then going doing their tour or doing their book signings or whatever the hell they're doing at the moment. They've just got to sit in quarantine. So I think you'll get international guests. I don't know about the photos and signatures, though. I don't know. I mean, they just had the first con this year in Sydney, Comic-Con pop-up last weekend. So I'm waiting to give it a week to see if there's any COVID outbreaks from that. That was in Sydney. So I know that, yes, they're limiting numbers, but they're also spreading out all the stuff inside the convention centres as well. It's not, so close together anymore. They're quite separated. So people aren't gathered in groups too much. So that's another one of the things that I do know they're doing is spreading out all the stuff inside and limiting numbers of people going to the convention. So, look, I think it'll be.
Prices?
What's that?
Have they released prices? Like,
Or
are they going to use for the just general admission? Are they going to use the fact that they're going to let people to try and recoup their losses?
Not too sure. Like I said, it's probably worth just checking what Oz Comic Con did and how much tickets were for last weekend because I didn't. It's fun. I didn't actually look at how much tickets were actually. To be honest, I don't even know if they were tickets. They called it a pop up, so it might have been even free. I don't really know. I don't know. So I just know that the limiting number of people into the convention and really spacing out everything inside so they're not all jammed up together. So.
Like on a lighthearted note, it's probably going to be the cleanest convention experience ever. I don't know if anyone's ever been to a place where you can smell. So I don't know. I don't know whether that's going to affect things.
Other than nerdy people's BO.
Yeah.
And it's going to be difficult for international people. There'll probably be a lot less stalls and everything around too, so they'll be able to spread it out.
Well, I did post an article up today with at least 100 photos of last week's convention. So if you're interested to sort of see what it looked like, I guess the photos probably might show a little bit. I haven't looked at all of them yet. Oz Comic Con supplied them all, so I posted that up today.
Definitely worth having a look. If you do want to check that out.
It looked pretty normal to me, in all honesty, from what I did look at it. Literally just looked like Oz Comic Con normally. Just everything spaced out a lot more, that's all. Lots of space between everything.
And did you say that was on the Discord or on the website or both?
It's on the website. It's on both, yeah.
It's on both?
It's everywhere, yeah.
Okay, so if you do want to check that out, jump onto mkaugaming.com or our Facebook page at MKAU Gaming. That way, if you are interested in going to conventions, you can have a little bit of a look at what people are currently doing to try and reduce the risk of COVID spreading again. But otherwise, I think that about sums us all up, unless anybody else has anything they might like to add or bring up.
Yuffie DLC.
What?
The Yuffie DLC for the Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Sure, you could talk about it.
Yeah, go.
It just looks amazing. I love it. So I can't wait for it. But people are a bit annoyed at the fact that the DLC is not going to be free for the people getting the PS5 upgrade from the PS4, which includes me. But yeah.
Where's your PS5?
Well, because if you got if you buy the PS5 version straight up, you get the DLC free. But if you already have the PS4 version and get an upgrade to the PS5 version, like I have, you have to pay for the DLC.
Right, so
the way they do these console upgrades, it's so annoying, dude.
I thought the PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII was free if you already owned it on before.
Oh, yeah, it is. So my upgrade from the PS4 version of it to the PS5 version of it with the upgraded graphics and everything like that is free. But then I had to pay for the DLC to get the Yuffie DLC. Whereas if you buy it straight on PS5, you get the DLC with the game.
That's
how much is DLC?
I'll tell you what's even rough.
Probably about $60-something probably.
It's just as annoying. I just saw the other day, I didn't even take notice of it when the news came out. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, if you own it, I could be getting this wrong, but if you own it digitally, you'll get the upgrade to next gen. If you own it physically, they're not going to just upgrade your game with an update. You literally have to buy it again on PS5 or Xbox Series X.
Jeez, that'd be harsh.
Yeah, Mortal Shell did the exact same thing.
Like, they're not just going to, we got an upgrade. So if you got it on this, if you play it on here, you'll get the upgrade. No, if you buy it physically, you have to buy it again physically.
It's like robbery.
Yeah, that is very rough. That's I feel like that's not entirely fair, to be completely honest, but it's business decisions on their behalf.
I mean, you could probably still put the disc in it, it'll work, but you're not getting any of the visual upgrades unless you buy it again.
is there really much visual upgrades for Tony Hawk games though? Like not
I
being
don't know. Just the standard, as far as I know. 4K native. I don't know. Whatever the.
Yeah.
It's
60
Tony.
frames
It's
per
Tony
second.
Hawk. It's not like it's a. It's not like it's a
It's not-
Witcher or a Cyberpunk or anything. It's a
But
bloody skateboard game. I don't know.
yeah, it does seem like they're all pushing hard for everything to move away from the older gen to the newer gen.
Good.
Which I can understand that, but on the same token, they can't keep up with the orders still for the new gen releases. So I feel like that's something that they shouldn't be doing until Sony and Xbox can actually maintain their maintain and produce enough stock for people to be able to get what they're asking for. Like I'm still getting phone calls at work saying, "Hey, have you got the PlayStations yet? Have you got the Xbox yet?" And the short answer is no. And we have no idea when we're going to get them.
Well, I'd like to see, because when they bring the DLC out, that's also when they're releasing the upgrade version of the remake. I'll be interested to see if maybe they've been mass producing or trying to mass produce as much as possible and have a sort of second sort of launch because you have to buy the PS5 version to get the free DLC. So they'll want people to have the PS5s. So
Yeah, I think this.
in business sense, releasing like a whole bunch of PS5s with the new remake upgrade for the PS5 and the DLC seems like it'd be a good move if it's possible.
Just seems like they're sneaking in these little incentives so you do move away. But like Malik said, the problem is you can't move away because you can't frickin' buy the bloody machines.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, and it's probably false hope, but hoping that when the game does come out, because I think it's in October, November, I think it was, that they might have a fresh batch of new consoles coming out to facilitate the remakes remaster for the PS5, because they just released the new PS5. Only the people who have PS5s are going to be able to benefit from it, and sort of seems like releasing a whole bunch of PS5s at the same time, they probably get a fair bit of business from it.
So I think what Brashy's saying here is anyone from Square Enix, if you are listening, he would like a code for free, please.
Yes, please.
What about you?
Get on your
Sorry,
knees,
what
mate.
was that?
I'll give him a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Can't be buying scores, bro. Can't be doing that.
All right. What about you, Fletcher? Have you got any additional news you might want to bring up at all?
No, like the funniest thing for me that's happened recently was the guy that escaped from prison and then got caught because he went out to buy Call of Duty on disc. And I have no idea why you would do that when you could download the thing. So, but I guess maybe you couldn't deposit the cash that he'd stolen or whatnot. But just speaking of PlayStation games and robberies and stuff.
Yeah, okay. fancy getting arrested because you're buying not because you're buying a computer game, but imagine going into a store and seeing somebody getting arrested because they're buying a computer game.
Well, it just shows everyone's going crazy. Everyone needs a new video game to get them through. So let's hope that nothing else gets delayed this year.
I'm on the run, but I really need to play some COD.
Now, what about you, Redgraves? Have you got anything you'd like to bring up?
Not really. The only major thing I'm hoping that doesn't happen this year is a delay for Resident Evil Village. That's probably the biggest game I'm hyped for this year.
Right. Fair enough. And Subby, finally, anything else you might like to bring up?
Normally we do this at the start, but I'd like to know just what everyone's playing and stuff at the moment. Normally this is a thing we do at the beginning, but Malik missed it. He fucked up.
Yeah. Well, look, it's been a while since I've run one of these things, so your faith was unwarranted, mate. So
yeah, I don't know. I just like to know what everyone's currently playing at the moment. I know everyone's pretty tied up with reviews, so I don't know if we can really mention some of them. But what is everyone playing at the moment? Rashi?
I think I can mention mine. One was no embargo.
What is it? Sure.
The YS.
Yeah, no, that's right, I think.
So I was playing YS 9. The Monstrum Nox. That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
So what is it? I don't even know what that is. I don't even know.
Well, all the YS games are based around like this guy's an adventurer, and he just goes around and every single game he just gets swept up in all like this out of the world sort of bullshit. Gets like a magical weapon at the end of it, defeats the bad guys, mysteriously loses or breaks the magical item that he gets at the end, and then goes on to the next game without the magical items or anything like that, and starts over again with another adventure. And they even make fun of it in the game, because one guy, one of the people, was like, because he gets arrested at the very start, and one of the things they charge him with is like, mysteriously you come along and get swept up in all this, and you find some relic weapon, and then that happens to break or get lost, and then so it's pretty. It's so no, yeah, because Falcon and NIS America, they've been doing a really good job, like last year, this year, because I've reviewed a couple of their games now, and they've all been pretty high on my list, and I'm like, this will probably be make one of my top 10 for this year too. Yes, yeah, I was really enjoying it, and yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, Apex pretty much.
Apex, I've noticed that. What's wrong with you?
Trying to get back into it a little bit. Trying to like hone my first person shooter skills a little bit.
Got a 1v1 me or something?
I'll lose.
All right. Hey, Redgrave, what have you been playing? Or what are you looking at playing?
Recently been playing Mortal Shell Enhanced Edition. And
you seem to like that. I edited your review and you seem to like that a lot.
I love anything Souls related. Like I was talking to Brashy about this at the Christmas party. I was asking him how he was going with Demon Souls since I didn't have a PlayStation 5 at the time. But since I've gotten it, it's probably been the most game I've played this year so far. But other than that, just Outriders, Siege.
Oh, yes.
Pretty much whatever sub's been playing lately. I'm always usually in there.
So has anyone else played Outriders? What do you think about it?
I really want to play it, but I haven't played it yet.
You know you can download it for free, right?
I haven't played it, so I'm probably going to have to download it. Because, again...
Wait, okay. I haven't looked and it was like still on pre-order.
It's a demo.
No, it's a demo.
There's a demo out
until the launch of the game.
See, it doesn't bring up the demo. Like when you go to click, like find something in the shop, it always goes to the like either the pre-order or the cheaper version. Like it doesn't show the demos or the ultimate editions unless you go searching for it.
Maybe type in Outriders demo.
Demo, yeah.
Oh.
I didn't realize it was a demo.
Yeah, it's a demo. It's cross-play, so you can join any of us if you want. The only problem with it's only 3 players. It sucks because there's a lot of us, so that's a bit of a negative. But
especially since there's 4 classes as well.
There's 4 classes too. Yeah, it's good though. I actually really enjoy it.
It would make sense for it to be 4-player if there was 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
At
least with
Destiny,
they've got 3 classes. Like,
yeah.
I only played the Outriders demo for the first 2 days, and then I went back to Destiny because it just made me want to play another looter shooter. I got high hopes for it. I didn't want to burn myself out of the demo because there's only so much you can do in it. Obviously, you can replay it with different classes and stuff like that. But I liked what I saw of it, so I just thought, I'm happy with what I played. I'm going to wait till the full game comes out, so I don't really burn myself. Like there is that whole thing that if you keep playing the demo, you can get some legendary gear. I know you've got some subby.
Yeah, I think it was a shotgun from memory. Pretty cool looking shotgun. Yeah.
So I might go back just to see if I can get a couple of those. But yeah, demo's good. So I just want to play the full game. I don't want to burn myself out like I did with the Anthem beta.
All right, Fletcher. While you're talking, what are you playing at the moment, sir?
I've actually been into a lot, like funny enough, we were talking about earlier, indie games, like some side-scrolling adventures. Like I got to do the review for Little Nightmares 2, and I really loved it so much, and I never played the first one, so like I went straight back into that one, started playing that one. They're really great games. Like it makes me want to go back and play. Like I never finished Inside. Like I finished Limbo, but like those games are just so good. Like I've re-downloaded Hollow Knight because I got to a certain point in that game where I was just getting my ass handed to me. But it's a really really good game. Like I think that was Australian developer actually as well. If I think about
it could have been actually.
Hollow Knight.
Yeah, it might have been.
Because I'm pretty sure there's a second one coming out, so I figure I should go back and finish that one. But yeah, like really great games. Need to play more of them. I'm not the best at platforming, but yeah, they're still really fun. And like I played a lot of the Dark Souls games with Redgrave, and very punishing. And I obviously need a lot of help on that, but I feel a little bit more confident playing those games. So.
And Mel, what are you doing before you wrap us up?
Well, haven't been playing a huge amount besides the stuff that I've been reviewing at the moment. And that's because my armor unit servers are currently down. So I played the Outer Worlds DLC, which was fun. You can see the review for that one on the website. I've also recently just completed a review for another game which is currently under embargo, so I can't really discuss that one at the moment anyway. But other than that, I've actually mostly just been playing with my new 3D printer because that's the thing now and it's fun
What are you printing?
stuff. Because I can.
Great
at the moment, I'm not printing out too much. I actually tried to print something off for a friend, and I did have a print failure. It's actually up here. So Tigger has more of a speech impediment than he usually does. I'm not sure if you can see his lip because of my light there. He almost looks kind of like a bit of a monkey.
That's
so yeah, I've had a few print errors. But I've just been surfing the internet, having a look at stuff. Found some Mortal Kombat stuff that I kind of want to print out. There's some other game stuff that I'm looking at as well. So yeah, no, mostly just fixing up 3D models and getting them ready for printing instead of playing games because yeah, it's new and it's fun and expensive.
I'll have to hit you up so you can make
You
me some
should print out a lot of Mortal Kombat masks for when the movie
How
comes out.
big? Yeah, how big is it? How big can you do a print? Is that the biggest? That Tigger statue? It's Tigger figure? Is that the biggest?
No, I can do a little bit bigger actually. If I move this without knocking my camera. If I'm printing in one piece, because it's one of the resin ones, that's the size of
The
my
base?
print head.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's the biggest. To give you an idea, I can print if it's going to be printed as a single piece. Otherwise, if I'm printing individual parts, as long as we can cut them small enough to fit on this, I can make it as big as we want. So it's the Anycubic Photon Mono. It's good bit of fun. And Anycubic, I know you probably don't watch gaming stuff, but I would like some more resin, please. Why not? Shout them out. But yeah, what about you there, Subby? What have you been doing since this is a topic that I forgot to bring up?
Yeah, it is. Look, I've been a bit busy with a few other things, to be honest. I haven't played a lot of games. I played the Outriders demo a little bit with the guys. Played a bit of Destiny yesterday with Morkbork. It was pretty good to get back into, just because, like Fletcher said, I kind of just felt like going. Wanted to stick to the Outrider Destiny style, but I kind of didn't want to get too burnt out with playing the same levels over and over again with Outriders. So getting back into Destiny recently. New season Redgrave, so get into it.
Yep.
I bought the season pass yesterday.
You should get a 12-man raid going.
Yeah, so it's going crossplay soon. Is that what I hear? Destiny?
In season 15. So
Yeah.
this is season 13. So season 15 was supposed to be when like the next biggest one come out, which is the Witch Queen, but that's now been delayed to 2021. Oh, sorry, 2022. usually September, November is when they want to do their big launches. Like every single year, they do like a yearly, like massive reset. But yeah, like last year, I think it was a week before Beyond Light was supposed to come out. They just pulled the pin and said, "We're struggling. We got to push it back." And I think it pushed back about 3 months, and there was just nothing to do in Destiny for a while. So now, now that they've like said, yeah, we're not even going to make it, so we're just going to commit now. It's coming out next year, but we'll give you something to do for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so I've been getting back into Destiny. Mork carried me through the exotic mission that comes with the season pass last night, which is freaking annoying, dude. So much platforming, and the boss was a bitch. Fucking hated it. Hated every minute of it. But I got it done. Got a cool sniper rifle out of it. So I'll get that a test drive tonight, hopefully. But yeah, look, I've been just dabbling in things. I dabbled into a bit of Diablo with Stace the other day. Playing mostly Siege, I'd say. Mostly Siege still. I've just been busy with work and a few other things, so I haven't been able to play a lot. I play a lot of games, so yeah, that's me.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up for season 3, episode 2 there, guys. So if you'd like to check out any of our new reviews or any of our latest news, jump onto mkaugaming.com. We do also have some sweet new merch, so feel free to jump onto the merch store site. Get that right. Subby, what was the link for that one? I figured you'll drop it in the description below, but for people that are listening.
We've created our own link. I think we've gone merch.mkaugaming.com.
Nice.
For the merch link. We've made our own, which obviously forwards to who we've partnered with for our stuff now. So I just recently added jerseys to it, so you can actually get your name or gamer tag or whatever you want on the back of them. Now I did notice someone's already purchased a couple. I don't know if that's any of you guys, but someone has. So yeah. merch.mkaugaming.com.
Awesome. Alrighty, team. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and that's it from me. See you later, guys.
Cheers.
So yeah.
See ya.